And here we get a look at the new VoIP phones that have been installed in many of our schools. When you are first looking at it, you have a digital screen, a keypad, and a few other buttons in the bottom right corner. The very top left corner of that digital screen, though, is going to show you the current time and the current date. And in the top right, it is showing you the extension for the phone that you're looking at. In offices and desks, that extension will be the personal extension of the person who has that phone. In classroom environment, that extension is for that classroom and not related in any way to the voicemail for the teacher that actually teaches in that room. When you're using the phone, you can dial outside lines by hitting 9 and dialing that number, or you can go with the shorter option and just dial the 5-digit extension of the phone you want to reach. So if I'm calling somebody else in the building here, my extension I can see is 22313. The rest of the building is all going to be 22, and then I can dial other numbers from there. Now I can use this little backspace if I realize, oh, I actually want numbers that are 21, and continue dialing and dial somebody in the Bracebridge office, or back it up entirely and start dialing other numbers. I can cancel, and I'm back to the beginning. If I didn't know a number and needed to find it, these phones have a built-in directory. So the cluster of buttons over on the right, the only one really that's useful is going to be the book here, that in some cases is a labeled directory. You can click that directory button. You will see a missed calls directory, a received calls, placed calls, a personal directory, and just off screen, if we scroll down with this little button, we see the last option is corporate directory. So I can either hit select to choose what I've highlighted, or in this case I can hit 5 and choose that corporate directory. I get the first name, last name, and number. So I could search for a person like myself. I don't need full names. Much like first class, I could just use a partial name. So I'm going to hit number 2, 1, 2, 3 times to get a C, and once on the number 8 for a T. Oh, but I can go backspace, scroll down to last name, and in there I can put in a T. And I can hit search, and I'm going to be the only CT that pops up in the system. So with that number up on screen, I can just pick up that handset. It's immediately going to dial the 22313 for me, and the phone on my desk would start ringing. I can exit there, and I'll be back at the search. If I wasn't sure and I just needed to find somebody else in the building here, instead of a full number, I could search 22, hit that, and I'm going to get a listing of all the other phones in the building here. If I knew the person I was looking for was in, say, the Bracebridge office, I could say 21, search, and start going through the numbers there, trying to find who I'm looking for. Cancel, cancel, exit, back to the main screen. So I have redial, new call, call forwarding, and D&D. Those are my options across these soft keys. But as you're making calls and working with different functions on the phone, these 4 keys will change depending on what you're doing. I can hit that D&D for do not disturb, and I will see right here, do not disturb is active. When do not disturb is active, you won't actually block calls. The call will come in, the other person will hear it ringing, but on your end, it will make one beep. You will see this button on the top side here will go orange, and on screen you will see whatever call display information is available. If you choose not to pick up, the other end will just get kicked to voicemail after the designated number of rings. The other thing you have here is a volume control. So the volume control is going to control whatever you're doing at the moment, much like the soft keys do. So right now it's going to control my ringer because I'm not doing anything with the phone. If I were to hit the speakerphone button in the bottom corner and I was using the speakerphone, then of course the volume would control that. And if I pick up the handset, then that volume control will control my handset volume. The phone on a lot of desks, if it's connected to a personal account, has this red light here. The red light indicates unread messages. But if you're one of these people with a phone connected directly to them, the inbox for the voice messages is of course tied to your first class inbox. So that red light is not only indicating possibly unheard voicemails, but also possibly unread emails. So if there are any unread messages in your inbox, that light will be red.